Up in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Aquaman's arch nemesis? Nemesis? Would nemesis be more than one? Somebody tell me if nemesis and nemesis what is the multiple of nemesis? I don't know. This video's off to a weird start. Anyway, what's going on, Super Friends? It's SuperDude here again to Fantasy Draft. Da-na-na, da-na-na, Fantasy Draft. Yeah. Okay, so I did the first episode of this Fantasy Draft on Heatwave. Heatwave, Heatwave. Everyone do the Heatwave. Just a bunch of people with lighters going like that. The Heatwave. Alright, so I thought it time to do another Fantasy Draft. This time of the... Oh, excuse me, there's stuff on the screen. This time I am going to be doing the villain of Aquaman. Aquaman's villain, the villain of Aquaman, Aquaman's villain. That villain? The villain of Aquaman, the villain that Aquaman fights, Aquaman's villain that he fights all the time, Aquaman's villain, that villain, villain of Aquaman. Yep. Black Manta, ladies and gentlemen. That's who's being fantasy drafted. Fantasy draft pick number dos is Black Manta. Now, for those of you who are watching this for the first time and you don't know what the fantasy draft is, I'm gonna tell you again. What I'm doing is I'm picking characters who either haven't been announced for Injustice 2, even though Black Manta's in the stage transition, he's not officially a character. 2, I don't think they're going to be in Injustice 2, or basically people who I'd want to see. If it's basically, Aaron, you're making Injustice 2, who are you putting in it? And well, Black Manta would be one of my top priority picks. Now, why Black Manta, not Aquaman? We'll get to that later. So just hold your horses and just grab your tridents and wait. Just wait. Alright, so like always, I'm going to be doing a little history of the character. I'm going to be talking about what they can do, and then I'm going to be talking about how I would make them play in the game, what their abilities would be, what I think their trait would be, and what I think their super would look like, and how they would fit into the story and all that stuff. So, the history of Black Manta. The boy who would become Black Manta was an autistic youth who grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and loved to play by the sea. As a youth, he was kidnapped and forced to work on a ship for an unspecified amount of time. At one point, he apparently saw Aquaman with his dolphin friends and tried to signal him for help, but he was not seen. Finally, he was forced to defend himself, killing one of his tormentors on the ship with a knife. Hating the emotionless sea, and Aquaman, who he saw as its representative, the boy was determined to become its master. As an adult, he designed a costume, primarily a black wetsuit with bug-eyed helmet, and fashioned a high-tech submersible inspired by Black Manta rays. Taking the Black Manta name, he and his masked army became a force to be reckoned with, engaging with at least one clash with Aquaman prior to his first appearance as a rival to the Ocean Master. He also joined the short-lived Injustice League. So basically, Black Manta was an African American youth who he was an African American youth who had autism, and what was it? If you want to know a little more on the history of Black Manta, go watch the Supervillain Origins for Watch Mojo. Black Manta Supervillain Origins by Watch Mojo. That's where some of my info comes from. In it, it says something to the effect of they tried to cure him, but it made him super strong and messed with his head. And then Aquaman cured him of his autism when it came back. But whatever. He's just a cool character. He's like a civil rights African American character if you watch the video. So I'll try to leave a link below. I still don't know how to do that. Do any of you know how? Because I don't. Teach me. But powers, like I said, he's super strong. He has a trident, much like Aquaman. He is. Give me just a second. I'm actually looking it up now. For Heatwave, it was easy because Heatwave doesn't have powers, just has a heat gun. And now, abilities. A brilliant tactician. That means he can strategize. Enhanced strength and endurance. Skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Quickly masters new technology. That's important. That's going to be important later on here. High-tech battle suit and equipments grant artificial gills for breathing water. Optic blast projections from his helmet. Various weapons implanted into his costume. So, that's going to play later on. Like, it's going to take effect whenever I do a video. Whenever I do a video for Black Manta. I'm doing one now. Whenever I do how he's going to play, it's going to take shape. Now, let's see. I'm trying to pull up a list of all his weapons. I know he has the mana rays. That's what I'm calling them. Is that what they're called? Manta rays. Let's see. Okay, so what it says here is... Oh. Alright. Okay. Alright, sorry. This is a very messy video already. Alright, so what it says here is that he's used Aquaman's trident before. I would have him maybe have his own, like shape his own. I would have some of his various weapons that he's had in the past, like his dual knife things, come into play. His harpoon gun. He's had a harpoon gun. You don't believe me? Look it up. He's had a harpoon gun. And I would have his harpoon gun. Here's the thing. Act like Scorpion's spear. Scorpion. Shut up. There's a lot of things like that pull opponents close. So you just have the harpoon. You can shoot it as a general projectile. And then if you meter burn it, you could shoot it into them and pull them to you for a combo. See? Look at that. You could have his knives implanted into his combos. You definitely have his mana rays implanted in there somehow. I don't know how you're going to make them different than Supergirl's. It's very... There's a lot of heat vision, I-beam characters. So how would I make them different? How I would make them different is I would implement them into combos as opposed to general moves. So it's just like type of thing. Maybe have one. Give him one special move that has the eye lasers in it, but not too many. You don't want to be just another Supergirl with the eye lasers type of thing. Now, what his... This one's a fun one for me. What is his trait going to be? Well, his trait, I would have it be, it fills up the entire screen with water. Fills up the entire screen with water. A water effect. And it's going to play similarly to Flash's slowing down time thing, where everybody else moves slower and you do not. That's what I would do for his trait. Now, his super move is very simple. You take whatever weapon you want to give him, his harpoon gun, his trident, whatever. You run him through the opponent in sort of like a motion. And then you take him to the ocean. Take him to the ocean. Wherever they're at, just take him to the ocean. And you have the Manta Men, his henchmen, come at him from all directions. and then you have him slammed by the Manta jet, the Black Manta vehicle, and then back onto land. Something to that effect. I think it would be cool. If you don't like it, build your own. That's just what I would do. His super move to me is not what matters. His super move is not what makes or breaks a character to me. It's great when they have an amazing one, but it's not going to make or break the person for me. Now, his general moveset, of course he's got to play sort of like Aquaman, but I would have him be a much more heavy hitter. Like, I would have him be much more like more of a rush beatdown type of character. I would have him be, and I know it sounds like I just love rush and beatdown type of characters, which I do. That fits my gameplay style. So a lot of my choices are gonna probably be characters like that, only because I don't like the zoner characters. I can already tell I'm not gonna like fighting the Dr. Fate and Firestorm. Nah. But I would very much have Black Manta be an in-your-face type of character. Just basically a more hardcore version of Aquaman, just hitting harder, punching harder, kicking harder, that kind of thing. Now, where would he fit in the story? What would be his story? And how I would fit him in the story is the way that I'm sure anybody who would put him in the game would fit in the story. With a twist. Here's what I would do. And it's also going to have a little thimmy spoiler for a future episode of the Fantasy Draft. I would have in one of the dialogues of a different character who I'm not mentioning yet, I would have it be mentioned that Black Manta killed Aquaman. There you go. Black Manta kills Aquaman in my world. Yeah. Take that. Now, you have Black Manta running running Atlantis, and Aquaman's wife Mira is not happy with that. So Mira becomes the new Aquaman. Mira takes Aquaman's place and is trying to defend Atlantis while Black Manta is trying to take it over, and there may be another character involved from Atlantis. I just like the idea of using different characters from different places instead of 1,000 Batman characters, Dr. Freeze and Scarecrow and Bane and Catwoman and this and that. Just pull a few characters from a few different places. Yeah. Now, I know what some of you guys are saying. Well, this is Black Manta's a stage transition. What's going to happen? Well, much like they did with Martian Manhunter, because if you remember, he was a stage transition before he became a character. You just put a different, similar character in that spot. You would put Namor. Namor would be in that spot. Or is Namor DC? Is Namor DC? I feel like an idiot. Feel like a dummy. No. Namor is not. Jeez. I'm sorry. No, you don't put Namor in there. Give me just a second to see who you could fill into that spot. You can't put Namor in there because Namor's Marvel. Heck, you could put Mira in that. Well, no, you can't. Because, well. You know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. Because in the fantasy draft, I can change super moves. So since Aquaman is dead, his super move is null and void in this fantasy draft environment. So take that. But if I had to, if you want me to say who would I put in there in case Black Manta makes the game, Ocean Master. There you go. Ocean Master. Now, I would also have Black Manta be a serious threat to anyone he fights. I would not have anyone take Black Manta lightly. I would want him to be taken incredibly seriously. Like, maybe he goes up on land and deals with Batman. Possibly. Basically, I want to see Black Manta become a top tier villain in the Injustice universe. Hence this fantasy draft. I can make that happen because I can do what I want with it. But that's going to be my talk on Black Manta. What do you think of my idea? Who do you think I'm going to draft next? This is not a hint for next, but maybe, possibly, maybe, perhaps, we don't know. Maybe, possibly, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what or who is gonna be next? Who knows? Who knows? Well, that's all for now, Super Friends. As always, this has been SuperDude here. You guys have been the Super Friends. You know that. I've been SuperDude, and until next time, don't go to Atlantis, because there's a lot of trident wielding people down there. Up and away.